The general public who don't study about that matter will also have that, I am sure. The best way for us to overcome this kind of misconceptions that we already have in mind is to educate ourselves, is to learn more. And also, whatever you have learned, you need to tell it to people. Don't keep the knowledge to yourself, but tell it to people. That's how we are able to form a community that does not disregard other people's problem, but also encourages them, and we are able to get cured properly. So, if any one of you here is that someone who is suffering emotionally, mentally, I want you to speak out. I don't want you to keep it inside, because that only bottles up your emotion, and later it can result into something which we don't want. And speaking out is one of the best way to live a very emotionally fulfilling life, right? Our mental health, we are social animals. We need to share our thoughts, we need to share our opinions, we need to share whatever we have in our mind to the people around us. But also, it's very important for us to select people who are good for our mental health. Not everyone is good for our mental. We are all different people, and some people, with some company, you might feel very encouraged, you might feel very inspired. But with some people, with some company, you might not feel as inspired or anything of sort. So it is also very important to select out a support group that can help you, that can make you climb the steps, that can make you become a better person every day. So keeping good company is also a very important part of good mental health. Has anyone ever thought of seeking therapy? So people usually tell that, speak out that seeking therapy is like us begging people to help us. It's shameful, right? But then seeking therapy is never supposed to be a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength. You reach out to people saying you need help, it can only mean that you are determined to make yourself better, you are brave enough to come and speak out, you are brave enough to become a better person. Seeking therapy should never be regarded as a sign of weakness. And anyone who has friends, you should who knows, like they're suffering from this kind of issues, you must also encourage them to speak out and seek therapies. We all know that we are fearfully and wonderfully made by our Lord, right? And sometimes we forget that and we start comparing ourselves to people. We start talking bad things about ourselves to ourselves in our mind. But you know, those thoughts can manifest into reality also. That is why positive self-talk is also very important. These are a few ways you can live a life where you are emotionally and physically healthy as well. Exercise is one of the best way you can keep yourself active mentally and physically. And also spending time with Mother Nature and taking a break sometimes and taking I call it mental health day break. You can also take those breaks and then you can journal, you can do what you love and just spend time with yourself, saying positive things to yourself. Speaking negative thing about yourself would never result into anything good. That's what I believe. Alright. I would want you to speak with me, repeat some sentences with me, alright? Mental illness is not a choice. Mental illness is not attention seeking. Mental illness is not a flaw in character. Mental illness is not funny or a joke. Mental illness is not less important than other illnesses. Before I conclude with what I had to say in my part of the session, I would give my family. I have an aunt who has gone through a childbirth, and then her child died within 3 months, and that incident triggered her, and everything that was pushed out, crushed down from her past, it resurfaced the emotional traumas and all, and then she now suffers from clinical depression. So when at first I asked her if she was okay, but then she was not ready to speak out. But later on, it seems she did speak out to her family, and her family took her to a local church. And I am a child of God. I know religion is also very important for our well-being, but also there are some places we need medical help as well. So that local church, it accused her that it was her lack of faith that made her suffer like that. So I think this incident might also relate to some people. We are shamed by our own support group, maybe our women community, maybe our church community also sometimes, or maybe our friend groups, that it's just in your mind, it's just lack of faith, it's just the laziness that's making you like that, but that's not the case. And I think we must also understand that whenever someone is speaking up to us like that, we also need to encourage them. We also need to tell them that they are very brave for speaking up and they should get the professional help they need. So, but now my aunt and I we spoke, and now she's getting medical and professional help. She's visiting psychologists regularly, and then she's also on some psychiatric meds. But she is doing better than before. It's not just her illness that made her to the person she became, that no confidence, no will to live her life kind of person, but it was the shame that the society imposed on her. That's the case. And I think I'm taking very long, but I'll share you some few things. Do you know how mental illnesses, how people suffer from mental illnesses? What are the trigger points? First, might also be generational. It might be in our genes, because it's the chemical imbalances that's causing us those feelings. So you need to know that might also be generational. You need to know that might also be. Hello? Was I not audible the whole time? I was not audible. It might also be the past traumas. I think we, as humans, we have also gone through many kinds of abuse in our life, maybe physical, maybe verbal, sexual. Those kind of abuse can trigger our mental health. And also, some problems might come from some kind of incidents or accidents that are natural causes. Those can also inflict those kind of feelings towards us. So those are the main triggers of mental health issues. So that would be my conclusion, but I want you all, whoever has attended this program, and whatever you have learned from both of us, do not keep it to yourself, but share it to the people around, so that we as individuals can create that ripple effect that will cause a big wave and will, wash down all the stigmas and discrimination that is prevalent in our society. You promise that? Yes. You promise to share what you have learned with the people around? Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for having us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kenny, for sharing your past life experiences and at the same time educating our students on mental health and reducing stigma around the mental illness. And I feel that our student might have been aware of the mental health matters and that seeking help is a sign of strength and not a sign of weakness. Proceeding further with the program, I would like to request Mr. Ben Kripa Foundation to share something.